So I want to talk about this. I love Fat Joe. Fat Joe is one of my favorite rappers. But there's something interesting he said in this video, and I want to talk about it. One, he talked a little bit about the projects and how the projects keeps people poor. I love him, but he was also talking all this stuff. We got to vote for Kamala Harris and the Democrats and all this stuff. But the Democratic policies are actually a big part of what keeps project and welfare laws and procedures in place. It was the Democratic Liberal Party that pushed a lot of these things.
The projects isn't exactly that, a project, an experiment, right? It was made for people who go through a hard time. They go in there, they get out, keep it moving. What happens is people want to live in there for $100 a month or $200 a month. I don't know what it is now. So they don't aspire to be better. If you're a woman, you can't have a man in the house now. So the man ain't even there no more because you want to stay in the project. Well, you got to hide the nigga like Claudine. Rest in peace, James L. Jones. Remember they used to hide the sanitation nigga all the time? You can't, anything, because you can't have a job, can't have a man in the house. Right? Then if you're in the projects, if you make a certain amount of money, you're not eligible for the projects. So you purposely keep yourself down to stay in the projects and stay on welfare. Imagine Jay-Z stayed in the projects and said, nah, I like this $150,000 rent, the $150 rent, $200 rent. He won't compete.
I don't want to make this about Democrat or Republican, but I want to make the point that, see, during the campaign, Kamala and the Democrats had all these celebrities were pushing this whole, the Republicans, they're against all the minorities and they hate, black people and brown people and poor people and all this stuff. But see, a lot of times the celebrities on the low, they actually have more conservative views, because everything Fat Joe just said was very conservative. It's a conservative view. This is something that conservatives have been talking about for a while, is that a lot of the liberal policies, yeah, they do encourage people, if they are in a project situation, to stay there. There's no incentive to leave. There's no incentive to do anything else. So it's not blaming the victim. It's not blaming people who are in bad situations or who need to live in subsidized housing. There isn't an incentive a lot of times for people to move out. So this is something that he said. And I'm like, you know what? These aren't things people were saying during the election. During the election, it was the total opposite. After the election, you see the true truth.
So basically what they're doing is getting you to not compete. And not show your brilliance and not show how intelligent you are.
Stay safe.
When they say they, who is it? Because all the people we've been voting for the past 50 years, these are the laws that were put in place. The laws were put into place where to say, if you have a man in the house, you cannot help, you cannot be subsidized, you can't get help. They would come and check to make sure there was no man there. If you make a little bit too much, now you're off of the subsidy, which in some cases you should be. When it comes to welfare, when it comes to the projects, when we talk about the hood and we talk about in hip hop, it's that need to move forward, to get out, to create something, to do something different. That's the whole reason why hip hop was created. It was created out of poverty. It was created out of creativity within the hood, in the ghetto, to come up with something different, to move out of there with the creativity and the knowledge that we have, right? So that in and of itself is very conservative in a way. It's about doing for self, coming up with something and not being comfortable just staying down and staying at the minimum. So a lot of hip hop's ideals in some ways are very conservative if you think about it. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Crucial Convo.